Hi everybody, good morning. Here's the note catcher that you need, front and back. Okay, there's that. And then in order to understand today's read aloud, you need to remember some things that we've already learned. One thing I want you to remember right now with your family is, what is a blacksmith's job? We learned about this yesterday. Talk to your family. What is a blacksmith's job? What does a blacksmith do? Talk about it. Okay, and you know that a blacksmith used fire to heat the metal so that they could bend it. One way to start a fire might be with a match or with a lighter. But what do you put in a fireplace to keep a fire burning? The answer is coal. Okay, here's a picture of coal. It reminds me of, if you think about Christmas time with Santa, how they say that the kids who are good will get presents, but the kids who are not good will get coal. This is what coal is. They're kind of like, they look like black rocks, but you put them in a fire to help the fire keep burning. Okay, this is coal. Remember that, because that'll help you later on with our story. Okay, and there's a tradesperson we haven't learned about yet, but their job is to get coal. Okay, and blacksmiths need coal to light their fires. All right, and then another thing you need to know for this story, we're going to be learning about a little pony. And the pony wears horseshoes on its feet. This is a horseshoe. And horseshoes are real. Some horses really do have horseshoes on their feet that the person who owns them might nail to the bottom of their hooves. They're metal. They're a little bit heavy, and blacksmiths would know how to make these. Okay. And the reason that someone might put this horseshoe on the bottom of the horse's hoof is to help protect them, because you know how we wear shoes to protect our feet? Because if we were walking on the sidewalk or in the grass or on rocks or things like that, it would hurt the bottom of our feet, right? Well, it's the same with a horse's hooves. If they're walking and walking all day on the ground, the bottom of their feet might get a little bit sore if they don't get protected. So that's why they have something called a horseshoe that they put on the bottom of their hooves. Okay, and here's a picture of a horse with a horseshoe nailed to the bottom of its hoof. The parts that are circled in red, that shows where the horseshoe is nailed onto the horse's hoof. Okay? All right. So, let's start our story. It's called The Little Gray Pony. There was once a man who owned a little gray pony. Here's the man and here's his pony. Every morning when the dewdrops, or little drops of water, were still hanging on the pink clover — a clover is a type of flower in the meadow — and the birds were singing their morning song, the man would jump on his pony and ride away. Clippity-clap, clippity-clap, clippity-clap. And the pony's four small hoofs played the jolliest tune on the smooth pike road. The pony's head was always high in the air, and the pony's two little ears were pricked up, for he was a merry gray pony and loved to go clippity-clap, clippity-clap, clippity-clap. Okay, so it says that this was a merry gray pony. If this pony is merry, you can kind of look at the picture and see its face. What kind of pony do you think this is? How is this pony acting? What do you think it means if the pony is merry? Tell your family. The man rode to town and to country. Remember, we learned that in the country, all the stores are really far away and it's a lot of like farmland and things like that. The man rode to town and to country, to church and to market, uphill and downhill, and one day he heard something fall with a clang on a stone in the road. Looking back, he saw a horseshoe lying there, and when he saw it, he cried out, "What shall I do? What shall I do? My little gray pony has lost a shoe." Then down he jumped in a great hurry and looked at one of the pony's forefeet, but nothing was wrong. Forefeet are the horse's front feet, okay, or hooves. He lifted the other forefoot, but the shoe was still there. He examined one of the hind feet. What do you think the hind feet are? If the forefeet are in front, then the hind feet are in the... I bet you got it. So he looked at the hind feet and began to think that he was mistaken. But when he looked at the last foot, he cried again, "What shall I do? What shall I do? My little gray pony has lost a shoe." All right, so let's go to our first question. It says, what might happen if the pony continues to walk without a horseshoe? What might happen to the pony if it continues to walk without a horseshoe? You could say the pony's hooves might what? I hope you know. Okay. Pause the video if you need to. Okay. Then the man made haste or hurried to go to the blacksmith, and when he saw the smith, he called out to him, "Blacksmith, blacksmith, I've come to you. My little gray pony has lost a shoe." But the blacksmith answered and said, "How can I shoe your pony's feet without some coal to iron to heat?" The man was downcast when he heard this. How do you think the man felt if it says he was downcast? The blacksmith just told him, "I can't help you. I don't have any coal for the fire so that he can make a horseshoe." And it says the man was downcast. What do you think that means? So the man left his little gray pony in the blacksmith's care, and when he hurried here and there to buy the coal. Okay, so here's the blacksmith, and he just told the man, "I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't have any coal for my fire right now. I can't make you a horseshoe." Okay, and so he's about to leave to go find some coal to bring back to the blacksmith. But instead of hopping on his pony and riding around town to go look for some coal, he leaves the pony there and he walks to go find some coal. Why do you think he does that? Why do you think he leaves the pony there instead of riding on him? Think about that. Talk to your family about it. And then you can answer the next question too. It says, why did the man go see the blacksmith? You could say he wanted blank. Okay. Pause it if you need to. All right. First of all, he went to the store, and when he got there, he said, storekeeper, storekeeper, I've come to you. My little gray pony has lost its shoe, and I want some coal, the iron to heat, that the blacksmith may shoe my pony's feet." But the storekeeper answered and said, "Now, I have apples and candy to sell, and more nice things that I can tell, but I've got no coal, the iron to heat, that the blacksmith may shoe your pony's feet." Then the man went away sighing and saying, "What shall I do? What shall I do? My little gray pony has lost a shoe." Okay, so we just met a new tradesperson who I haven't told you about yet. This is the storekeeper. And what does the storekeeper have? Does he have coal? No coal, right? But what does he have? Hopefully you heard me. And that brings us to our next question. Why couldn't the blacksmith make the pony a new shoe? The blacksmith said, "No, I'm sorry, I can't make you a new horseshoe." But why? So you could say he couldn't make a new shoe because... Okay, pause it if you need to. All right. By and by, he met a farmer coming to town with a wagon full of good things. What do you think the farmer has in his wagon? Think about what farmers do. What might the farmer have? Do you think he has coal? "Farmer, farmer, I've come to you. My little gray pony has lost a shoe, and I want some coal, the iron to heat, that the blacksmith may shoe my pony's feet." Then the farmer answered the man and said, "I've got bushels of corn and hay and wheat, something for you and your pony to eat. But I've no coal, the iron to heat, that the blacksmith may shoe your pony's feet." So the farmer drove away and left the man standing in the road, sighing and saying, "What shall I do? What shall I do? My little gray pony has lost a shoe." Okay, so who did he meet? And what did he have? He met the who? And what did the farmer have? Okay, hopefully you're catching on. Hopefully you're with me here. All right. In the farmer's wagon full of good things, he saw corn, which made him think of the mill. So he hastened there and called to the dusty miller, "Miller, miller, I've come to you. My little gray pony has lost a shoe, and I want some coal to iron to heat, that the blacksmith may shoe my pony's feet." What do you think the miller will have? Ooh, we learned about this a few days ago now. I wonder if you remember. The miller's job was to take wheat and make it into what? What do you think the miller has? The miller came to the door in surprise, and when he heard what was needed, he said, "I'd have wheels that go round and round," remember the mill, "and stones to turn till the grain is ground, but I've no coal to iron to heat, that the blacksmith may shoe your pony's feet." Okay, here's your last question on here. Which tradesperson did he meet next, and what did the miller have? So you could say the miller had okay, pause it if you need to. Then the man turned away sorrowfully or sadly and sat down on a rock near the roadside, sighing and saying, "What shall I do? What shall I do? My little gray pony has lost a shoe." After a while, a very old woman came down the road. Ooh, here she is. Driving a flock of geese to the market, and when she came near the man, she stopped to ask him his trouble. He told her all about it, and when she heard it all, she laughed till her geese joined in with a cackle. She's laughing because she knows who has the coal. Who do you think has the coal? And here's what she said. "If you would know where the coal is found, you must go to the miner who works in the ground." Okay, so which tradesperson did she tell him to go find? She says, "Go find the," in case you missed it, it was the miner. And the miner works digging in the ground to get the coal. Okay? The man sprang to his feet, and thanking the old woman, he ran to the miner. Now the miner had been working and looking for coal many a long day in the mine under the ground, where it was so dark that he had to wear a lamp on the front of his cap to light him at his work. He had plenty of black coal ready and gave great lumps of it to the man, who then took them in haste to the blacksmith. Okay, if he took them in haste, it means he was going really what? Okay, and here's the miner. He's digging underground, and he was able to get the man some what? What did he give to the man? The blacksmith lit his great red fire and hammered out 4 fine new shoes with a clink and a clang, and he fastened, remember fasten means to put them together, he fastened them together with a rap and a tap, and then away rode the man on his little gray pony. Clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity clap. The end. All right, hopefully you like that story. I've got 2 more questions for you to think about with your family. One is, what do you think might happen to a pony or a horse if it continued to walk without a horseshoe? I know you might have thought about this already, but just to make sure that you're understanding the story, what do you think might happen to a pony or a horse if it continued to walk without a horseshoe? Okay. Give you a second to talk about that with your family. Okay, and the next one is, the little gray pony only lost 1 shoe. Why do you think the blacksmith made 4 new shoes instead of just 1? So it had said in the story that the blacksmith had made 4 new shoes instead of just 1 new shoe. Why do you think he made all new shoes for the pony instead of just 1? Think about that. Okay, I've got another fun story for you tomorrow, and I can't wait to read it to you. Bye, guys.